What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode review for Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3. This is episode 3, and with me, as always, I have Bluespade.
Yep. So after the first two episodes were amazingly good with the animation quality and bringing back specific characters, this episode is just one place with just a ton of exposition.
I remember before I watched this episode, I was seeing that some people were, I guess, kind of disappointed with the episode, and I wasn't exactly sure why. And now, after having watched it, I can kind of understand. I guess, I don't know. Maybe this is how it happens in the manga, but I feel like maybe the anime adaptation could have, I don't know, conveyed the information in a way where it wasn't like the whole episode is just expository dialogue.
Well, if you remember in the last episode, I think one of the last episodes that in the mid, what was it, the mid episode credits that showed
Yeah.
literally showed like a whole like a almost like a PowerPoint presentation of like how the culling game thing works. And
Yeah,
now
well,
they're
so
having to,
so this episode does kind of do something similar because like while Tengen is explaining all the rule or explaining the calling game, like we have the rules that kind of come up every so often on screen, but you kind of almost have to pause to read all the rules because it goes by pretty quick. And then at the same time, Tengen is just explaining everything about the calling game. And I feel like I got about like 50% of what they were explaining about the calling game. But yeah, like that, this is pretty much the whole episode. Like they're all in the room where, after the last episode, Late leaves off, talking with Tengen. And, basically they all are, well, Tengen is explaining the rules of the calling game. And then they all have to come up with a plan, as to like what they're going to do, to prepare for the calling game and like who's going to, go and be involved in the calling games. Who's going to stay behind and like guard Tengen. And then meanwhile, Maki has to go to the Zanin clan headquarters and retrieve, what was it? She has to retrieve something.
she's gonna gather up cursed tools for them to use.
Yeah, the cursed tools.
Culling game later.
Yeah, so basically, like, yeah, that's pretty much this whole episode is them just kind of like Tengen is explaining each of the rules of the calling game, and also as also sort of like telling us like some of the characters that are going to be participating in the calling game, like the Angel, and I think that's about it. I think well, there's some other characters they allude to.
There's like Yuji and Megami are going out to recruit this suspended Jujutsu High student.
Yeah.
And then I think Tengen also explains what was it, the fake ghetto, I think his name is Kenjaku, about the reason why he's using the culling game to his advantage is because he wants to collect enough cursed energy to use against mankind soon afterwards.
So they do go more into that as well. The Kenjaku's plan, as we found out in season 2, like this goes a little bit more into it. And Kenjaku's plan, honestly, is just very convoluted. But essentially, like what it is, of course, he wants to more or less get rid of all of like normal, like regular humans, so that the only people who are left are just Jujutsu sorcerers. And some of the way in which he wanted to do that, was that he was going to have, well, Tengen, and I think Tengen was part of this plan as well. Like Tengen was supposed to assimilate into what we found out was the Star Vessel from the beginning of season 2, where we got into the flashback arc. And Rico was supposed to be the star plasma vessel, but of course she, as we know, she got killed. So that plan didn't work out. So Kenjaku has to find some other way in which he can like try to assimilate Tengen or something.
Yeah. So yeah, and then of course, like leads into everyone going into their own task of like how they're gonna handle things before the calling game starts. Also, the fact that Yuji, this also complicates things for Yuji because Yuta is gonna uh, is heading out to investigate some kind of colony involved in the Culling Games, and this it complicates the promise in which uh, Yuji asked Yuta to kill him if if he goes out of control again.
Yeah. And of course that Yuta's not going to be with Yuji, so Megumi is going to be the one that it might fall on him to have to try to do something. But Megumi, of course, says that that's not going to happen. Um, Also, like we kind of get a little bit of what Yuta and Miguel were doing. That Yuta explains that him and Miguel were, I think, in Africa, looking for what was it, like rope, some kind of like cursed. I think it's a cursed tool or something. They were like going around Africa looking for this. They didn't. I don't think they ended up finding it.
No, um, I mean, I'm curious if Miguel is gonna be back for this season because it's like
Yeah.
as we know, like we know like Geto's former companions from the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie. Um, like I think majority of them are already dead, with the exception of Miguel. So I'm curious if he'll end up coming back. I don't know, maybe for this season or maybe sometime later in the Culling Games.
Yeah. Well, I mean, considering he hasn't really shown up until like at all. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he does show up eventually in the calling game arc.
Yeah. But other than that, it's like that's pretty much the entire episode. It's just all exposition of like how the culling games
Yeah.
work and what tasks like each of our main characters is gonna undertake to prepare for this whole thing.
Yeah. So the two characters that stay behind with Tengen, I think it was a
A-
Yuki.
And I think
Uh,
Choso as well.
yeah, Yuki and Choso, they stay behind. And then at the end of the episode, we get introduced to a new character, who's just like, I guess like a failed stand up comedian or something. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
well, if you saw glimpses of this character in the opening, uh,
Yeah, he's the guy with the weird costume. Like,
yeah,
uh,
like the half naked costume. I don't even know why, but
yeah, I don't really get what the deal is with that, but yeah, I mean, there's some people pointed out there's some pretty impressive, I guess, some impressive animation in this sequence, at least with, I think they were probably using some kind of rotoscoping or something because they have this guy who's like talking to him, and I guess his facial movements, I kind of noticed it. It looked a lot more fluid, like as opposed to what we're used to.
mhm.
Um, so I mean that looked pretty good, but yeah, for the most part, this episode was just I don't know. I kind of have some mixed feelings about it. I guess like I feel like they could have. I get why it was necessary, but at the same time, I feel like there could have been a different way that they could have conveyed all this information, because it's just like a lot to take in, and I feel like they could have. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how they could have done it differently, but it just feels like like it's the whole episode. It's the whole episode is them just standing around in a room and just while Tengen is just delivering expository dialogue basically. Uh, so I don't know. There could have been a more interesting way to do it, I guess, but um, yeah, I mean it's in comparison to the first two episodes, this one's definitely kind of a step down considering like I said, most of the episode is just that and not much else.
Yeah, I mean, you could call it. I mean, in a way, you could call it kind of a break episode from the first two episodes. I mean, they,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So far, the show's not the season so far is not too bad. It's just like kind of got into like I don't know. We kind of got into like a big break for this week with pretty much everyone being tasked with like what they're supposed to be doing before the culling games start.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say about the episode, though. I don't know if you have anything else to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad episode. It's just like it's just yeah, like I said, I'm just just repeating myself right now. Like hopefully things will will get better you know once we find out what's gonna happen with our characters. I mean, obviously
Mm.
we know Maki's gonna deal with her business with his ending clan later. We'll have to find out what's gonna happen with the other characters.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, guys. So that all being said, until next time, we will see you all later.